Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Epe Gunati from NKTech Solutions, and today we are going to be looking at how to add JavaScript into our website. Okay, now in our previous lesson we talked about how to add CSS in our website, and we discussed 3 ways to do that. In this lesson we are going to look at JavaScript and how to add JavaScript into our website. Okay, so as previously said, JavaScript helps our website to be interactive. It makes it to be dynamic. Okay, and that is the essence of JavaScript. So let's look at how we can add it, and then we'll look at how to add some few JavaScript codes into our website. Let's note that this tutorial is not for JavaScript. We are going to create another series for JavaScript later in the future. Okay, this tutorial is just to know how to add JavaScript into our HTML. All right. So the first method we're going to look at is the inline method, where we use attributes, okay, inside our code. And then the second method is going to be, that's called the internal script method, where we add a tag in the head, okay. And then finally we have an external script method where we introduce a new file and then we add the code separately from the HTML codes, okay. All right, so the first method, let's demonstrate using the alert box. So if you can remember, there are some websites, if you go to, you see a pop-up that will show welcome, this and that. So that's an alert box. So let's look at how to introduce that using the inline method. Okay, now for us to demonstrate this, let's add a button. Let's add a button here. So let's add a button. Inside the button, let's type in click me. That's the function of the button. Now let's add an attribute. Type attribute. The type should be button. Also, let's add an attribute called the onClick attribute. Okay, so the essence of the button is if you click on the button, a certain condition should be met. All right, so JavaScript have some event listeners that listens to whatever you do on your website. So whenever you click a button, the event listener listens to it and then activates what you're trying to do. Okay, so for now, let's add click. Inside the onClick, let's now add the alert box. So alert. Now, what do you want the alert to display? You now add it inside the bracket here. Okay, so I want the alert to display, hello guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and click on a bell icon. Okay, so that's the message I want to display in the box. Okay, now once you're done, you can save. Now let's go over to the website and see if this is implemented. So if I click on the button here, I'm expecting to see the alert box. So let's do that. Okay, so as you can see, the alert box is out and it says, hello guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, share, and click on the bell. Okay, all right, so that's working. Now this is the first method we are going to be using. All right, whenever you're adding a JavaScript into your website, this is a method. Now for this method is used when you have maybe some few lines of code of JavaScript that you want to add. Okay, so if you have maybe one line of code or maybe 2 lines of code, you can use this. Okay, but if you are to implement a lot of functionality in your website, this is actually not going to work. This is going to mess up your code. As you can see, before you see the click me, now you have to scroll down this way before you can see that click me there. All right, so if you want to edit your code, it's going to give you some time, some hard work, you being able to search different places to see what you're doing. Okay, and like I said, websites contains a lot of codes. Okay, 500 to 1000 and above lines of code. Okay, let's look at the second method. Okay, so let's take this off and let's look at the second method. Okay, so what I will do, let me just cut this. Let's cut this. Let's go over to the head. So for the second method, we are using the internal method where we have a tag, a script tag in the head. Okay, so before the closing tag of the head, let's add a script tag. So add a script tag. Inside the script tag, you can then add what you want. Okay, now for this method, we just want the message, the alert box to show. We don't want anything to be clicked. So what we'll do, remove the on click. We need just the alert. Okay, all right. So whenever you open a page, the alert box will just pop up. That's the essence of this. So let's look. Okay, so as you can see, the alert box is there. If I close, the page will not open. Okay, so that's the function of this. If I let's just refresh, and you see the box will show. Now, one of the disadvantage of this is that once the box shows, your web page is not showing. Okay, the script here can be added at the bottom and at the top. Okay, so this is for the top. Now let's cut this and take it down to before the closing tag of the body. Let's add it there. So this is to show that you can add your script tag both at the top and at the bottom. And now it's advisable that your script tag is at the bottom, because whenever the web page is loading, it normally starts from the top. Okay, so it reads all the codes from the top and gets to the bottom. So you it's preferable that your code executes when every other thing is shown. Okay, so we are using this. All right, now if you refresh, it will be very fast. Yeah, it's very fast, but your web page will show before the alert box comes up. Okay, all right. So this is the second method. Now apart from this, let's do another thing using this method. Okay, let's go over to the let's take this up. Okay, so what I want to do is this family therapy here. Okay, the H1 here, I want it to be that whenever I click on this button, I want to change the writing here. Okay, the family therapy to another writing. Okay, so in order to do that, let's try to execute some of the commands. So I will take off the alert here. So we see our script tag here. We'll come to that. But let's go down to the button where we have our button. Where is our button? Okay, the button is here. All right, so what I want to do is on click, whenever we click, we want a function to run. Now we can call this function nk click. Okay, and then you need to have brackets, open and closing brackets to indicate that this is a function. And then let's go to the top and let's execute the function here. Okay, so inside the script, let's add a function and let's call the function inside the button nk click. Okay, so open and close the curly brackets to execute what you want to occur. Okay, now let's do this. Let's use a constant y, which is equal to document dot get element by id. All right, so what this line of code is trying to say is that we want to um, come to the HTML and grab this particular tag. Okay, so we want to get that tag. So let's go down to where the tag is inside the code. Family therapy. Okay, so that was this one, and then we give it an ID of H1. Okay, because we are getting it by ID. Okay, all right. So inside this bracket here, let's add h1. This is the h1 tag that you see as the id. Okay, we are getting it by id. So the next thing is, let's call the y. Let's use inner html. So we are going inside the html to change what we have there. Okay, which is equal to, and then what are we saving? Let's say how to add JavaScript in HTML. Okay, so that is that. Now let's go to the website and let's try to execute. Save your work, and then here, let's click on the button. Okay, so as you can see, we have the changes here. So you can do more. You can change the background color, you can change the text color, you can do a lot of things. Once you grab the elements, then you can start to manipulate the elements, okay, using JavaScript. So it's very, very important to know how to do this. Now when we get to a JavaScript course, we're going to go more deep. We are going to do more on this, okay. So for now, just to show you how to add JavaScript, and then how to do some basic. So these are the basic JavaScript codes that you're going to be using while programming, okay. So we are done with this method. Now another thing about this method is, let's say you have 10 pages, okay, in your website, and you're using JavaScript to code. Now adding this in your website, you have to go to all the pages and start doing this, okay. But with the last method, you can use one file and apply it to all the other pages, all right. And then your codes are going to be well arranged and then well organized. All right, so let's go over to the last method. So what I will do, I will just cut this out. Let's take this out and let's create a file. Let's create a new file. Okay, so type in script.js. Okay, so JS stands for JavaScript. So always remember to add .js at the end of whatever you're using to save it, okay? When you're done, you enter. All right, so this is our script. This is our external script file, okay? Now what we'll do, let's paste in what we copied from the other part. Let's take out the script here. Don't need this. Let's take this one out. Okay, so this is our file. So this is exactly the same thing we did in the other method. The only difference is this is in a separate file. Okay, so now that we have this, let's go back to the HTML. Okay, and I think everything is okay now. All right, so let's go to the website and let's click. Now once you click, it's expected to change. Let's refresh our page. Okay, so it's not working. Now the reason why it's not working is because we need to link these two files together. Okay, all right, so that's what we're going to do next. Now we are using the script link. So inside the head, type script. All right, now let's put an attribute of source, and the source is the name of the file that you save here. Okay, location of this file is the source. So right now, the HTML and the script, they are in the same location, so you can just add. So you can just add the name, which is the script.js. Let's make sure we have this in here. Okay, so that's better. Now let's save our work and let's see if it's going to work. You can refresh. Okay, so let's click. And as you can see, it's working perfectly. Okay, so you can do this with the alert box. let's try that. So when we click, we want an alert box to show, so let's do that. Let's go to the script, and in here, let's take this off, and let's use the alert. Inside the alert, I want to show hello guys, hope um, hope you understand the three methods. Now I am do more practice to get this. Okay, now let's go over to the HTML and let's see if everything is okay. So inside the button, if you click, okay, this will happen. Okay, so everything is good. Now let's try this. If you click here, you can see our box is out. Hello guys, hope you understand the methods. Try and do more practice, okay, to get this. All right, so guys, as you can see, we talked about the three methods, okay, and I believe they are very understandable. They are very simple to grasp. Okay, so just try and do more practice to get this right. And we've come to the end of this tutorial, guys. So in our next lesson, we are going to be talking about what next. All right. So right now we are done with the HTML crash course. Okay, we're done with this series. So the next clip that is going to follow this is what we are going to do next. All right. So guys, don't forget to subscribe the channel. Don't forget to share, like our videos, and click on the bell icon so you will get our next update. All right. Thank you guys for watching. And see you.